class music.
Good evening and welcome to Bergen Catholic's second annual Entrepreneurship Challenge. I'm delighted to welcome you here tonight, our students, our faculty, friends, and of course, all the participants. We're going to lead tonight and open tonight in prayer. So I ask you to please join me in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and let us pray. Lord, grant that your Spirit may fill us with his gifts of understanding and knowledge by giving us thoughts pleasing to you and conform our lives to your will. This we ask through our Lord Jesus Christ. May the Lord bless us, deliver us from all evil, and bring us to everlasting life. Amen. This is a wonderful time for us to gather here tonight for our second annual Entrepreneurship Challenge. I want to extend a warm welcome to our judges, two members of the Bergen Catholic Brotherhood, alumni Sandy Cerami and Rob Nooner. Later on during these opening remarks, Mr. Saunders will do a more thorough introduction and explain their background and how important they are to our Bergen Catholic community. I want to give my gratitude to all the students that were here tonight, their hard work, their dedication, and what they are about to present in our pitch competition. They worked very hard, and there's a number of wonderful categories that they covered tonight that I think you'll find very interesting. I want to also thank our advancement office in the leadership of Dan Kelly and Marge Quinn, and of course, Mr. Spiegel and the BCTV team for helping us bring all this together. I have to also give a token of gratitude and appreciation to my friend, Mr. Rich Saunders, who has led this competition and taught this to our students for the past 2 years. Rich has been trained by the University of Delaware and has taken on the challenge of sharing his gifts and talents with our seniors in his entrepreneurship class. So thank you, Rich, for all that you do. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce to you our entrepreneur teacher, Mr. Rich Saunders.
Welcome to Bergen Catholic's second annual Entrepreneurship Pitch Competition. The 33 seniors you are about to meet are all part of my entrepreneurship honors class. They have been tasked with coming up with a unique solution to a common problem and develop that solution into a startup business that they can pitch to potential investors, partners, or customers. Tonight you will see those pitches presented to our judges in a Shark Tank type setting. The class is presented as a dual enrollment course with the University of Delaware, and the students can receive college credit. Our local competition will determine which of our 10 teams goes on to the semifinals of Delaware's Diamond Challenge with over 500 high school teams from around the world, where they could win cash awards over $10,000. Thanks to Dr. Mahoney's efforts and the generosity of our Alumni Association, the teams tonight will be competing for a first place prize of $1,000, second prize of $500, and a third prize of $250. Before we begin the competition, I would like to thank everyone watching the live stream tonight. I would also like to thank our principal, Mr. McElhaney, for his support of this program, Mr. Spiegel and his crew for putting the broadcast together, our Director of Alumni Relations, Marge Quinn, for reaching out to our alumni and enlisting their support, the Alumni Association for their generous donation of tonight's awards, and Dr. Mahoney for his efforts in making tonight a success. Most of all, I want to thank the students who worked so hard and were so enthusiastic about putting these pitches together. Finally, I want to thank our two judges, who are back for their second year of the competition and giving the team some very sage advice on how to be successful in the entrepreneurial world. Sandy Cerami. Mr. Cerami is a 1985 graduate of Bergen Catholic High School. He's a successful businessman, professional speaker, and consultant to companies ranging from small business, retail, automotive dealerships, to multi-billion-dollar Fortune 100 enterprise clients. Mr. Cerami's career spans more than 3 decades, as he now specializes in sales training and leadership development skills, business turnarounds, and organizational overhauls. His trademark killer culture blueprint is revolutionizing how businesses grow, explode, and sustain profitability, production, and employee retention. Mr. Rob Nooner. Mr. Nooner graduated from Bergen Catholic also in 1985. In 1989, Mr. Nooner earned a degree in political science from Williams College. While a student at Williams College, Mr. Nooner played on the football team and the tennis team. In 1992, he graduated from Fordham University Business School. He worked at Bear Stearns, then became an entrepreneur by starting a mail and parcel business in 1994 in Park Ridge. He sold the business in 1996. Mr. Nooner started Czech Beer Importers in 1997, importing beer from the Czech Republic to the United States. In 2004, Mr. Nooner started a Connecticut beer distribution company, Classic Beverages. He sold both Czech Beer Importers and Classic Beverages in 2006. In 2007, he created Boost Oxygen. Boost Oxygen has set the standard for non-prescription, 100% safe, and natural supplemental oxygen for the general public. Boost Oxygen is 95% pure supplemental oxygen in lightweight and portable canisters for health, recovery, and athletic performance. Mr. Nooner appeared on the television program Shark Tank in October 2019, and Shark Kevin O'Leary invested $1 million in Boost Oxygen. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for taking the time away from your families to be here tonight. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Sandy, Rob, let me introduce our first team with their Roommate Finder app, Jack O'Kane, Connor Verzosa, and Eric Safavi.
Good evening. Our venture is the Roommate Finder solution. Next slide. The current problem with the roommate finding system is that it's challenging, unsafe, and ineffective. Such apps like Craigslist and Facebook are outdated and are unsafe, as you're told not to go to meetings alone, as risk of crimes may happen. Next slide. The majorly affected groups are college students, young adults, and people living in big cities. Next slide. The market size is very big, such as 31.9% of the U.S. population has lived with a roommate that was not romantic. 40% of public university students have dormed on campus, and 64% of private university students have dormed on campus. This proves that there is a big market for room to join into. Next slide.
So our solution to the roommate finding issue is our website and application, Roomed. With its user-friendly and easy-to-use system, Roomed would allow the process of finding a compatible roommate to be stress-free. Next slide, please. So how exactly does Roomed work? Well, first, users would need to create their own Roomed account. They would then have to answer a questionnaire where they would be placed into different categories. The first category are those who have housing and want a roommate, and the second category being those who don't have housing and want a roommate. So then category 1 and category 2 users would then be matched together. Next slide, please. So unlike its competitors, such as Craigslist, Room provides an updated modern look. It also allows users to personalize their own profiles by such as uploading photos of themselves or linking their social medias and much more. As mentioned before, Roomed also uses a questionnaire setup to allow for accurate roommate matches to be made. Next slide, please. So overall, our questionnaire is unique, insightful, and comprehensive. On the right are some sample questions that we pulled from our questionnaire prototype, but these are just some of the many that we made. Next slide, please. In terms of advertising, our main source of advertising would come from online advertisements such as Google Ads. As popularity of Room grows, advertising and promotion methods would most likely appear, such as television ads and ads on billboards in major cities such as New York City, Los Angeles, Austin, and Charlotte, etc. Next slide, please.
So for our revenue structure, our main sources of revenue are going to be add-ons, ad-free subscriptions, and ads. So for add-ons, they're going to allow for more profile customization options, and they're also going to let profiles stand out more compared to other profiles. So for the next revenue structure, our ad-free subscriptions are going to allow users to be enticed to the aspect of having ads being eliminated instantly. So next slide. So we want to partner with major colleges and universities as for them to use our service, so we can expand our outreach to our main demographic, which is college students. So basically, we are going to cover the costs for students by letting the colleges pay an annual fee. With the colleges paying an annual fee, this is going to cover the cost for the students, and the students are going to be able to not pay any money, and it's going to be very affordable for them. And we also want to expand our outreach to landlords. We are going to allow landlords to post their properties on our service, and we believe this will be an easier way for landlords to get more tenants. Next slide. So I'd like to thank you for your time and consideration, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask now. And if you want to get in contact with us, our email is room.contact@staff@gmail.com. Thank you.
How much time do we have for questions?
About a minute.
About a minute, all right. So let's Sandy go first.
We got a lot to do.
So can we roll back the slides for just a second? I want to take a look at the challenges slide. It was in the beginning of the slide presentation.
All right. Also, before then, do you have a prototype of how the website would look or the app would look?
Not yet.
No. Any
Not at the
idea?
moment, but we have a
Google,
questionnaire.
right.
Questionnaire
prototype.
prototype,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, so here's my first question. We talked about your unique value proposition. Can you guys articulate the unique value proposition to us again?
So our app is more modernized, user-friendly, and it's, I would say, a safer alternative than other apps such as Craigslist, Facebook, and the older alternatives.
Okay, so my question to you is, what makes it safer than those alternatives specifically?
So we try to ask questions such as criminal background history and such, and if they violate that, they would be kicked off our website and application. And we would try to implement a system that would stay away from like criminals and offenders.
One thing I'd say, revenue structure, you're going to have a hard time getting colleges to pay you for anything, especially off the bat. You may want to look at ads. People are used to ads now, and that's something that you may want to look at as you go forward with your value proposition and your financial predictions.
That's why I asked the question, because if you're going to develop a revenue stream off of subscriptions, you're going to have to give them something that is going to answer the problems that you have over here. And you talked about unsafe as the second challenge that's out there in the marketplace. People are concerned about who they're going to be rooming with, and I think that has to be a big focus in terms of why the subscription makes sense for them. You got to solve the problem, and the subscription's got to be a way to drive the revenue, and it should tie together.
And I think there are competitive services out there as opposed to Craigslist. I think even universities, even kids that go to like University of North Carolina are doing this already. So you want to look at their prototypes as well and how you can improve upon that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Like
you.
it. Good
All
job.
right, good. Thanks.
Thank you, guys. Our next team is presenting a kind of unique perspective on how to recycle in-home wastewater with a product called Rejuvenator. It's Elijah Somerville and Adrian Taffy.
Next slide, please. Mission statement. Provide a sustainable process that can easily secure clean, safe water any place where no clean water is readily available.
We at Bergen Catholic don't understand the necessity for water because water is very accessible to us. We have access to it whenever we want, but other people in places necessarily like third world countries don't have access to water whenever they want. Next slide, please. Identifying the problem. Around the world, multiple people, especially in third world countries, do not have access to filtered water and water that is clean and safe to drink. For example, countries like Jamaica or countries like Haiti don't have access to clean water all the time due to the environment that they live in. And other examples could be Flint, Michigan, for example, with their tap crisis. And other examples could be like Texas so far, as their storm has been so bad that it's actually severed their water systems and they are currently on a boil water alert. Next slide, please.
Okay, with the Rejuvenator, we want to make it where it's a simple process. You know, the ingredients you could get right in your community, in your town, all you need is a few ingredients, and it's accessible, and that's what our main point is, to make it for everybody. You know, it should be able to make it easy for everybody to use. The average person should be able to get the ingredients, go in their home, and make a filter that's safe for them and their family. Next slide.
Prototype. The concept outlined in front of you is a prototype for our Rejuvenator. It's a charcoal filter. It consists of charcoal, sand, gravel, and water. The way this works is that you layer them on top of each other so that the water can filter through. First it starts with the charcoal, then it goes to the sand, then the gravel, and then the water. And to purify the water completely, you need some sort of heating source. Next slide, please.
Okay, design and function. As you can see here, this is a tabletop demonstration. Right here we have a container, we have the charcoal, the sand. The sand is green just for the demonstration, and then we have the rock. We put it into the container, leveled everything out, and then we have the cloth as a filter just for a demonstration. And essentially what we did, we got the dirty water, or any water that we think that might be contaminated, put it into the container, and allowed that to get filtered out, get all the bacteria or anything that you think that might be harmful, and you're able to get clean water out of that. Next slide. As you can see, there's clean water right there after filtering everything out. At this point, it's not quite done yet. Next step would be to boil it or put it in the microwave or put it out in the sun to sterilize it more, to fully make it safe. And even if you want to go further, you could test the pH to see if it's right, or if that's the right pH you want for your drinking water. Next slide.
Our targeted timeline. This is the targeted timeline that we have gone with since we started the Rejuvenator concept. Starting in January, in our entrepreneurship class, we started developing our pitches. And out of our multiple ideas, we went with the Rejuvenator pitch. Next would be March, which is currently today. Our goal for March is to win the Rejuvenator pitch competition. Then next is June. June, we want to build an absolute Rejuvenator concept / prototype that's even more developed than the one we have right now. Moving on to July, we want to put the Rejuvenator concept or the prototype into a phase where we ourselves are able to use it on a daily basis. October, we want to get the Rejuvenator concept out to some sort of charity or local facility where they'll be able to display their needs for the Rejuvenator concept. Next slide, please.
Why we do it? Honestly, it's from experience. Both me and Eli are parents from Jamaica, and from going on vacation, so we see how they live their life daily. Getting water is a struggle for them. Clean water is not something accessible for them. So we see an opportunity right there to give them a solution. Right here with the Rejuvenator, it's something simple that anybody could do. If they don't have their parents around, even the child could do it and distribute the water amongst the rest of the family. So we just want to make it simple and easy to use. And from that, we already started that. We could scale it to something not in a sense more complex, but something that could be more beneficial, filter out the water a little bit better. Next slide.
Why the Rejuvenator? 3 reasons why I say you should use the Rejuvenator is it's sustainable, efficient, and scalable. Starting with sustainable. Many other water filter products are very advanced, and not all countries have access to them, and not all countries are able to gain access to them at the same time. Many of these products need to be plugged in, or they need batteries to operate, or they need some sort of heating source in the first place to operate. Next, moving on to efficiency. Why is our Rejuvenator so efficient? Natural resources. These resources can be found anywhere. I guarantee you most people are able to find rocks, charcoal, and gravel anywhere they need it, and then they can pour their water into it, and use the Rejuvenator. Next is scalable. The Rejuvenator isn't just some small tabletop item. This item can be scaled up to however big you need it to be, and however big you need it to fit, your community or your small family. Next slide, please. Market research. In doing our market research, I found three key reasons on why our Rejuvenator has the best marketability: global interest, universal solution, and positive feedback. Looking at global interest, why is the Rejuvenator a global concept? Water is the fruit of life, and life can't operate without water. And many people still don't have access to that concept. That's why the Rejuvenator is a global item. Then looking at universal solution. Water can be the universal solution to many problems that people have. People have to use water to brush their teeth, shower, eat food, clean food, and many other things. And then positive feedback. And looking at our Rejuvenator concept, we've gained positive feedback from many people, including alumni of Bergen Catholic, students themselves, parents and friends, staff members, Mr. Saunders himself, and even our family in a third world country who we had try out our Rejuvenator concept. Next slide, please.
Go-to-market strategy. As you can see right now, we already started the Rejuvenator. It's something we can use right now in present day with all the stuff that's going on in the world. If you look at Flint, Michigan, and New York, getting clean water is really difficult. And with the Rejuvenator, that could be helping them right now. So with this process, although it looks very simple, it's something we could scale into the industrial systems where villages in like other countries, communities could use it. So there's a lot more room to be able to do other stuff that could help people in different ways. Also, it's not expensive. You could get the ingredients right in your backyard: charcoal, sand, rocks. It's really easy to use, and you could get that and be able to filter out the water you need to just use for the day. It's if you look in other countries where they have to go miles and walk just to get a gallon of water, it's really difficult. And right here, we have a solution that can help them right now.
Next slide, please. We'll now take any questions from the judges. Thank you for listening.
Great job. So my first question, first of all, I want to tell you, I think it's a timely idea, especially with what's going on in the world today. So my first question is cost associated with the entire Rejuvenator.
Well, right now it's simple. All you need the ingredients. It's literally free. You can just get the charcoal, the sand, and the rocks. That's just to start off, and you could assemble that into the container to filter out the water that you need, and then from there you could boil it. So essentially, from the start, it doesn't necessarily cost you anything. But as you scale it, there could be other different containers and contraptions we could make to make it easier for people to use.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are products in the market right now, I know, for camping. You can buy some. You need a battery, a heat source, and whatever. It seems like you'd be of a much less expensive solution. I know there are nonprofits right now. Like I think Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation actually is committed to providing clean water in Africa. So you may want to try to partner with them, like not Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, but I'm sure there are other nonprofits that do business in those third world countries that might be looking to partner for a simple solution, because I know they're searching for it. Now, you're not sure about the cost. The goal would be third world countries, or the goal is?
It could be anywhere. Look at today in New York and Flint, Michigan. You can use it right now. It could be helping people. So it's not just in third world countries, but it's a universal product.
I wouldn't say the goal is necessarily third world countries, because there are other places, even in the United States, that have problems. Like my uncle lives in Texas, and he's on a boil water alert because of currently what's going on with all the snowstorms that happen. And I actually told him to do this, and because he couldn't use his water filter because it couldn't plug in, and he actually used rocks, sand that he got from the store, and the charcoal, and he used this, and he was actually able to filter his water until he could get his power back on.
Just so you can see, like I know for the breweries, because of my beer business background, they supply clean water. Like Budweiser has a can that is just clean water when there are catastrophes. So they wouldn't be a competitor, but you might want to think about going to the breweries because they are a source of clean water when there's a disaster in the United States. So.
That's why I say it's timely. When we've had a number of significant disasters, natural disasters over the course of the last 3 to 5 years, and so I think it's timely. I do think you have to think about in terms of some type of a vessel to facilitate the actual process itself. And the other question that the other comment I have is to dovetail off of what Rob just said. There are a number of different nonprofits that are out there facilitating clean water distribution across the globe. Bill and Melinda Gates is one of them, but there are tons of them out there that you could partner with. And you also had positive feedback and success stories that I think you can share, because the one thing I will share with everybody in the room is facts may tell, but stories will be what sells your concept or your idea or your business to somebody out there. So be sure to tie in success stories and positive feedback, and don't be afraid to share the names. Great job, though.
Yeah, nice job. Thanks.
Thank you.
Nice job, guys. All right, group number 3, team number 3 has a new idea for a smartphone case. And that is Aiden Johnston, James Batafarano, Shay Conlon, and Max Baldemir.
Our product is called Soul Power. Next slide, please. Has your phone ever died or been low battery and you've had no access to a charger or a portable charger or an outlet? Well, we have the solution for that. Next slide, please. So the average phone battery lasts about 10 to 17 hours, and even with that great gift, our phone still somehow manages to die. Charging cases today are very expensive and bulky, so we're trying to figure out a better way financially to get a solar panel phone case. Most cases are a hassle to bring around, so our case will be small and lightweight, so you can carry it anywhere for charging on the go. Next slide.
Our case will try to simplify the charging case community. So we're going to try to remove every form of a charging cord that'll be needed, so you won't have to carry around any cords or anything like that. So you could just bring your phone and you'll have everything with you there. And then you could charge your phone anywhere, and it'll be very eco-friendly because it'll just be through the sunlight. Next slide, please. So the function of our product, these solar panels will store up any energy so that the power can be used at all hours of the day at any time you need them with just one flick of a switch. And they will store up any excess energy so that you can use this multiple times throughout the day without having to bring any cords or anything like that. And our idea was inspired by the thought of our phones dying at the beach or when we're out with our friends and not having access to these like outlets or portable chargers and needing to contact people in case of an emergency. And our idea, we think that this idea will save millions of people all around the world from suffering like stress about their phone dying on the go and being in an emergency and having nowhere to contact. Next slide, please.
So the total cost of our case will be approximately $14.50. We have estimated this to be our cost of production because of the materials we'll be using. To create the Soul Power case, we'll need solar panels, plastic, and wires to connect the panel to the charging port. The case will retail for $35. Next slide, please. Soul Power will be targeting people of all ages. This is because anyone with a phone will be able to use our product. The case is designed to be a more practical way to charge your phone while on the go, and this will benefit customers by giving them a quick and easy way to charge while on the go. Next slide, please.
Okay, so what do we have and what do we need? We have a hardworking team that we're willing to do what we can to improve the product as much as possible, and we think that it's important for us to know like what we're doing with it. And although none of us are engineers or anything like that yet, we have a basic idea of how they work, of how solar panels work, and the wiring and the connecting and all that. It's not too hard. But then, to forward this, we just need some sort of an investor, and then on top of this, we just need a way to produce the case at an efficient rate rather than just slow one by one. Like, just a more efficient way to produce it, basically. Next slide, please. And then to recap this, we wanted to take the idea of the charging case, which, although most people don't have them now, it was a big thing a couple years ago. They were very bulky, and then the issue was with that was, on top of it, was that you needed to charge the charging case as well, which almost kind of reduced the idea of being able to go out and charge it, because it almost goes hand in hand. You have to charge the case, you have to charge the phone too. The charging case could die, say you accidentally leave it on or something like that. With the solar panel, in years since, there's certain products like this, but they're much bulkier and they're more medieval almost, more like they're just not as advanced. And with new solar technology, it's been much easier to make one small solar panel with a small battery pack that's able to hold up to 48 hours of energy in just the dimensions that fit a phone case, from iPhone 7 to, say, iPhone 12 and anything in between. And since then, we've been able to realize that you can take the modern case, the standard slim plastic case, implement some sort of a barriered solar panel within it, connect it to a lightning cord, which is right beneath it, right at the bottom of the port, and then from there you can just leave your phone out. You can leave the case out. Let's say you plan on going out and you're taking a shower before you go out, right? You can just take the phone out of the case, leave the case on a windowsill, and let it charge up for a bit or something like that. If you're on a long drive, you can take the phone out of the case and leave it right on the dashboard to leave it charging. It's an efficient and easy way to keep it going, and it's not bulky, heavy, or obnoxious. And then, yeah, I think that should be it. Yeah. Thank you.
So I'll start off. So it's a great idea. I'm surprised I've never heard of this before. Any other company do something like this?
We've seen like small unknown companies on Amazon sell them for upwards of like $40, sometimes $90, and they're all big, heavy, bulky cases. And they're just ugly
the first huge suggestion: get a patent on it.
Mm-hmm.
Design it and get a patent. If you get patent protection on it, you might have something there. That's my view.
100%.
Yeah.
Took the words right out of my mouth. You've got something. Besides the fact that you called me basically a Middle Ages throwback.
Sorry about that.
I don't take it personally because I'm somebody that blows through 2 or 3 battery packs on a busy day. No exaggeration. So this really caught my attention. With respect to the solar aspect of it, I think you're way onto something. Like that to me is a no-brainer. There is a company out there. I believe the name of the company is Patriot Supply. You guys can Google that if you want to. And they're actually producing battery packs that actually charge through solar panels on the pack itself, and it has obviously storage capacity. That's the big challenge, as you guys know, with solar, is the ability to store the energy
And
for
how
an
long
extended
it
period
can,
of time, right?
yeah.
So I agree with Rob. I think you get a patent on something like this. I think you talk to people that are already working on this type of a technology, and you look for partners to fund.
And look at your cost too. I think that
development.
$14.50 might be cheap.
Bingo.
Yeah.
I
Look
did
at your
first-
cost, and then multiply it by 10.
First thing I did was wrote that. I said $14.50. Man, if you figure that out,
Yeah, exactly.
I'm in.
And with making money.
I'm investing.
But I think
Okay.
we'll find a way.
Yeah.
I think we can find a way.
Yeah, but I like the margin. I like the thought in terms of the margin, because your margins, in excess of 65%, you get a lot of people's attention.
Yeah.
That kind of math.
Yeah.
Right.
Great job.
Yeah,
Thanks so
thank-
much.
Awesome.
Thank you.
All right, our next group has a way to replace rubber gloves and surgical and sterile gloves. This is Christian Malone, Hai Mesrobian, and Gio Perrone.
Ready? All right. So plastic gloves, we're all familiar with them. We've either used them for working in our backyard or during school science experiments, and more recently during these unprecedented times during the coronavirus pandemic. The problem with these gloves is that after using them, they rip and you have to put on a numerous amount of pairs or your hands get sweaty. But say no more. Next, please. Next. Say hello, spray on gloves. Next, please. So our solution are spray on gloves that are biodegradable and are good for the environment. They can be washed off after using them, and we're aiming to make them durable for around 5 hours. The material our group is aiming to make the gloves out of is silicone, because although it is durable, we're going to make it a thin layer so that it is biodegradable for the environment and does not harm anything. Although silicone, actually no, sorry. Our solution would not only solve discomfort, it would also solve helping the environment and making it more comfortable using the gloves. Next, please. So our targeted customers are healthcare workers, construction workers, or anyone who comes across working with aggressive chemicals that are bad to use without plastic gloves. Our idea is especially beneficial for healthcare workers because they wear them for extenuous hours and can be more comfortable. Next, please.
So why our solution is better? Spray-on gloves, they're more efficient. We say that they're going to be more comfortable because plastic gloves are just not comfortable. I think they smell. They never end up being placed in the garbage too. They're littered all over the floor. And our solution is going to be long-lasting, and it's just unique. It's never been made, and it's just going to be more efficient overall with all these features about it. Next slide, please. So when they work, we're going to buy more and expand them. And right now we don't have a cost for them, and we are going to make a lot of them, and they are going to overall the plastic gloves are just terrible for the environment, and the spray-on gloves it's just a huge solution, and it's just going to make life a lot easier and everything with it. So next slide, please. The spray-on gloves will be better for the earth overall. Plastic gloves, I said, they're bad and they cause pollution and they're littered all over the place, especially like before COVID, like New York City. They're like all over the floor, like in big cities and overall. And they're just cleaner for society and everything. And yeah, so next slide, please.
Everyone we interviewed gave good feedback and loved the uniqueness of our product. 80% of the people that we interviewed were very interested in our product. We believe that gloves are going to be a fan favorite because they are environmentally friendly. And for example, we interviewed one female nurse who said that she did not have a problem with latex gloves, but was unhappy with the fact that they were bad for the environment. She also stated that latex gloves made her hands feel soggy. Next slide, please. So far, we have much support from family, friends, and people we have interviewed, and a lot of positive feedback from people that love their product. And we still need to find a cheaper way to manufacture our product, and someone, preferably a scientist, that can make our product work better and more safe. Thank you, and if you have any questions.
Yeah, good job, fellas. So, yeah, I see the focus on the biodegradability, the eco-friendly aspect of it for sure. I just want to clarify something. First, there was no cost analysis, and then it's $30 cost?
That was a rough estimate because
okay.
At the moment, the average cost per box for plastic gloves is about $25. So, and seeing how our idea is unique and new to the market would obviously be a little more expensive.
And how many gloves in a box for $25? You guys know what that is?
At the moment, we're still trying to come up with the amount. The estimate for an amount in a regular box is about 30 gloves. So it's going to be around there.
Okay. So biodegradables, it's going to last about 5 hours, you said. What happens if it gets wet or moist? Or would biodegrade faster?
The way we're trying to make it is that after that time is done, it would either disintegrate, or if you want to take them off before that, you would have to wash them off with a substance or water that for a good amount of time, for around like maybe 15 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. Like some sort of solvent. What you may want to look at is this whole nanotechnology industry is growing, and that's something that it sort of correlates to what you're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know much about it. I've used some nanotech ski waxes and stuff,
mm-hmm.
But that's something that I think is up your alley in terms of who you want to look at to partner with.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, agreed. From an applicability perspective, that's exactly where I would go. And then from a cost-based perspective, everybody loves the environment and wants to do something positive for the environment, but everybody will factor in a cost.
Right.
Right. So you got to make sure that you're striking that balance, and it can be a delicate balance.
Yeah. And they work. It's got to work.
Exactly. And it's got to work.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah. Good.
Well, great job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great job.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, our next group coming up Christian Vigiano, Andrew Lynch, Mike Chapman have a new way for stores to upgrade the means to keep their inventory.
Next slide, please. So I think we all remember exactly what happened in the beginning of this pandemic. You couldn't find any cleaning supplies anywhere in any store, right? We've all experienced it, and I experienced it with my family. And what happened was, I look online at the store's inventory. They say they have it. I drive 15 minutes out to Walmart, they don't have it. Then I have to drive to the next Walmart 30 minutes away. They don't have it. I ended up wasting about 2 hours just to find some cleaning products, getting myself more exposed than I could have been if I knew which store had it originally. Next slide, please. And that's where our venture comes in. Our venture is an app that we have named Stock Shelf, and it is the one-stop shopping solution for you. We gained our inspiration from all our personal experiences with this problem. I've had this many times, and so have each group member of mine. Next slide, please.
StockShelf's target customer market and beneficiaries to the app itself are people who have the problem every day on a daily basis during the pandemic and during normal times, even before the pandemic. Our target market is people that are looking for a super simplistic, realistic 21st century shopping app, which is currently not available because most of the providers are outdated. Next slide, please.
As Christian said, this is going to be as simple as possible. So what you're going to do is, pull out your smartphone and say, as my friend Michael needed supplies for cleaning, you're going to type that in. And you could toggle between what price you want to spend. So there's going to be a map, and you could say, I want the cheapest price around you within 20 miles, or I don't mind driving a little bit further and getting the best deal possible. And then also we're going to incorporate coupons on our app, so that will be available to the consumer. Next slide, please.
Example. I already went over an example, and I could spend this whole time talking about examples, but I'm sure not almost all the people in this room and watching live have experienced this once in their life, so I don't want to waste your guys' time. Next slide, please.
So from our end, when a company will get a shipment, they will scan all their inventory. Instead on their database, they're going to scan it to our servers. So then when a consumer goes to buy something at the cash register, when they tap their credit card and it goes through, it will delete from our server. So there's no room for human error. Next slide. This is how we're going to make profit. We're going to have internet ads when you load up the app, like every app will have. Also, we're going to have a $5 premium service so that if you do not want ads, you do not have to have them. And also, companies will be charged if they decide to use our service. Next slide, please.
Why you should invest. To simply put it, our product is revolutionary. I've researched for hours, same with the rest of my group, trying to find a third-party app that values the customer as much as it does the store. And the customer is our main purpose. Next slide, please. The evidence. Before we started to plan the ins and outs of our app, we had multiple interviews with a bunch of different people. And during these interviews, we had got almost all positive feedback. And the little bit of not positive feedback, people who had a lot of questions and were unsure, we were able to convince them that Stock Shelf was right for them. Next slide, please.
In conclusion with our presentation, I know that our solution is better than pre-existing solutions out there. We have timed it, the average time it takes you to find exactly what you're needing online, and it says it's in stock, is 15 minutes. That is too much time when we live in the 21st century, and we have modern technology that can stay up to date with cloud services to go to the point where you're taking out your smartphone, you're launching our app, 45 seconds later, you found your product, you go on to your store, it's there guaranteed. There's no time for error, human error. It's simplistic, quick, easy, money-saving, time-saving, gas-saving. Nowadays, everything is so smartphone-based and so technology-based. People love to online shop because it's super simplistic. You're going to get your thing guaranteed, your item guaranteed. And now we have that in person. And also, people love this app because of the fact that you can still go in-store shopping. People are in and out quicker. They don't want to stay exposed looking for a certain item on a shelf that just isn't there. The store says it's there, just isn't there. It also benefits the store as well because the store has people with the limit of COVID restrictions. You can't go into stores as much as you were able to before due to COVID guidelines and all the social distancing and that. And we truly believe it benefits you and it benefits the consumer retailer stores. They're going to be having people in and out. They're going to up their business from this. They're definitely going to improve sales, all of the above. That wraps up our presentation. We can answer any and all questions that you may have.
Good job, fellas.
Here you go, sir. I'll start. So there is another product on, well, was tested, I think, a couple of years ago, where you would go into an aisle and they had the, whatever you put into your phone, there would be a light that would light up. I'm not sure, it never took off. I'd be curious to understand why. Like, so you went down one aisle and were looking for toilet paper, a red light would light up right by the toilet paper. You just go and pick it. And it would tell you also about stock status. Have you researched competition? Is there anything like that that you know? Because I heard of it a couple of years ago. It didn't work because it's no longer being, sorry.
I have researched our competition, and I was unaware of this app app was it?
Yeah, it was one major chain. It might have been Stop and Shop.
It's based on pick and pull technology. So if you go into a warehouse distribution environment and you've got warehouse workers, there's pick to light.
Yeah, exactly.
It worked on the same principle as pick to light, but uses your cell phone, and you would
And your
actually build a
location,
shopping
right,
list, and
yeah.
it would actually ping
you walk
from
down the
your phone.
aisle and lights would come up, so you just know where to pick.
Correct.
A much faster shopping experience.
But from my research, I was not able to find any other competition that I have seen besides for every store's own website, which, as Christian stated, we're just going to be a lot faster and simpler then.
Okay.
A couple things I like. I like the fact that you would have the ability to comparison shop. I think that's smart, right? Because people want to do two things at the tippy top of their list. They want to save money or they want to save time, or both. Okay? If you can hit both, you got a solution. I like the coupon piece of it. I like the subscription piece of it. My question is it $5 a month, $5 one time?
It's going to be $5 for 1 month.
$5 a month.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to give you, just for everybody in the room, a little retail merchandising strategy. $5 is what? It's $4.99. You got it?
That's right.
All right, lesson number one. $5 is always $4.99. Trust me on that one. I love the passion from you guys, by the way. You bring it, you bring the heat, and you brought the fastballs, which I like. Big challenge on the execution side is getting the stores
The retailer buy-in.
to feel compelled to do their end of this deal. And so you would have to build a case on behalf of the stores that it would actually benefit their customers. There's another great piece, and you might want to make a note of this, is when you can solve not only the problems for your potential customers, but also their customers on top of it, now you've really got something. And so I think you got to just take those things into consideration.
Yeah.
Development of the app and et cetera, the things that you'll need in order to fund this thing is something that you got to take into consideration as well.
It's a Herculean task. I mean, you're talking about trying to coordinate suppliers and distributors and retailers, and you may want to try a small chain locally and see if you can work something, and not even the whole store. It'd be kind of crazy. Just try one section.
High volume, right?
Yeah,
That's exactly where I was going, is like find a store to pilot with, and then pilot on the 25 fastest moving items that they've got.
Right.
Right, because the stuff that doesn't sell all the time, they don't really need a lot of help in that regard.
Yeah.
The
You
stuff that's
gather data.
constantly, that they're running out of.
Yeah.
Those are where I'd want to go.
Yeah. And go and scale from there.
But I like the idea.
Yeah. Great presentation.
Good stuff.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Very nice, guys. All right, that was group number 5, and I think no one can argue with the fact that the first 5 groups were pretty darn impressive. But I do know that the next 5 groups also think that they're pretty good too, and that they have some really good ideas. So let me introduce our next group that has a solution for electric cars. And this is Joe Garcia, Paul Consomanis, Randy Hernandez, and Will Walsh.
In the Tesla.
You might want to listen very closely.
I'm going to.
Hopefully, we have something that can help you then. We'd like to introduce the PortaPack, which is our portable electric vehicle charging concept. Next slide, please. So one of the major issues that many people have with electric cars is that people are nervous about the range in the cars when they're buying them. They're nervous that an electric vehicle can't go as far as a gas car could, which leads to something called range anxiety, which is basically what I just explained. And people think, when you run out of battery in the car, what are your options? It's not like you can just pour a little more gas in to get to the gas station. You have to either call a tow truck or wait for someone to come that, hopefully there's not much you can do. You can't really do much when you're stranded with a dead battery. Next slide, please.
Concept. Tonight we present to you an idea which would provide energy efficient and portable insurance for any electric or hybrid vehicle owners.
So how can we help? Battery efficiency for electric vehicles has increased significantly throughout the years, and as well as a network of nationwide charging stations. But people still wonder what's going to happen if I run out of charge while driving. If this is a reoccurring problem for you, our product is probably a good idea, and the battery pack concept would provide enough energy and power to get you where you need to go. Hybrid and electric vehicles are a great eco-friendly alternative, but sometimes can put a dent in your pockets. Next slide.
Who can we help? Businesses. Amazon made a commitment to be a net zero carbon emission by 2040. This essentially means that Amazon is actively trying to erase and put an end to harmful chemicals and gases being released into the atmosphere. One step they have taken is by using only electric vehicles for their choice of delivery transportation. Everyday life. Forget to plug in the car overnight, or maybe you got stuck somewhere and need just a few extra miles. A few benefits by having this product consist of more mileage, more safety, highly efficient, and eco-friendly. Next slide, please.
So about our product is able to charge your car up to 15 miles of range in 15 minutes, which the only charger that we know of right now that's quicker than that is Tesla's supercharger network. It's 8 times faster than your standard electric vehicle charger. Our product is also small and portable. It can fit in either the trunk or back seat of your car, which means you can bring it with you, which is the whole point of this. If you run out of gas, you need it on this, not gas, if you run out of battery power and you need it on the side of the road, that's where this product comes into play. It's in your car and ready to use. And we keep mentioning Tesla. It is not Tesla specific. There will be adapters, and it'll have the ability to charge any electric car. Next slide, please.
So the environmental benefits. Electric vehicles reduce the emissions that contribute to climate change and smog, improving overall public health and reducing ecological damage. There are 2 general categories of emission known as direct emissions and life cycle. Direct emissions come straight from the tailpipe and include smog-forming pollutants and greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide. Electrical vehicles produce 0 direct emissions. Life cycle emissions include the emission of pollutants related to vehicle production, processing, distribution, and disposal. Hybrid vehicles are also responsible for evaporative emissions when operating on gasoline. Next slide, please.
Some more environmental benefits. Quick fact is in the U.S. there is nearly 9 billion barrels of petroleum last year, and 2/3 of that went towards fueling cars. The way U.S. citizens rely on petroleum makes it likely for price spikes and supply disruptions. Electric cars help the environment, people, and the government because most of the U.S. energy sources are produced from sources such as coal, natural gas, and renewable energy, which put a dent in the economy. Our product can reduce the use of gas in hybrid vehicles and the call to AAA when your electric car runs out of power. Next slide.
Profitability. Ads across the internet and television would be utilized. They would reach out to several companies to advertise our product. Our products would be sold at any commercial auto shops or websites such as Amazon, AutoZone, Pep Boys.
This product is also compatible with any and all electric hybrid vehicles. Next slide, please.
So we've done some research for alternatives, and we have found something similar. A company known as Blink Charging has created this product that does the similar thing to ours. However, it's powered by gas, which kind of defeats the purpose of the electric vehicle because you're trying to help the environment, not burn fossil fuels. Meanwhile, you run out of battery and you need to burn gas to power yourself. As far as we know, there is no other product that holds a charge and stays in your car like ours to then charge it without using a fossil fuel. Next slide, please.
All right, that was our presentation. Thank you for your time, and we're open for any questions.
All right. So you're talking to the car guy, and I've had a Tesla for 6 years.
Yep.
I've got a deposit on a Lucid, so I've pulled into my driveway with 1 mile left on my electric gauge. So I know the range anxiety.
Range anxiety, I love
Big time. You're gonna have a hard time having people put this. Well, first of all, you got to find a battery that doesn't degrade, because you say it's 15 miles, so and after a couple uses, it's gonna be 10, then 5. You got to look at a cost. You have to make sure that people do charge it and keep the charge. You may actually want to go for like tow truck companies and things like that, where people are stranded on the side of the road. All they do is charge to get to the charging station. Great idea. Execution, again, because if people have range anxiety, I mean, they're not that bright to be driving further than what they have range for. And if they're not that bright, then as I say, I pulled in with 1 mile. But if they're not that bright, are they going to be smart enough to buy a battery pack as a backup? Maybe, but you have a little bit of work there to go. But now the expert here.
Well, I don't know if I'll play the role of the expert, but I will ask some questions. I'll tell you the things that I like first, okay? Things I like first is you have identified the problem, range anxiety. I love the way you actually put a name to it. I don't know if you did that yourselves or that's something that's real. I've not heard that. I will also tell you that I like the fact that you address capacity. I think that the number has to go a little bit higher, for sure, more than 15 miles. I like Rob's suggestion with respect to approaching tow services, because they're the ones that are answering the calls vis-a-vis AAA or roadside assistance. Charge time, 15 minutes, 8 times faster than the average, which I like a lot. Again, I go back to the cost piece. That was one of the questions that I wrote down. I also love the fact that it was agnostic. You guys, it doesn't matter, which vehicle it is or what battery it is, it's going to be agnostic. You talked about digital and TV advertising. You got to know, like, budget. TV is ultra expensive. Digital's probably the way to go. That's probably where your audience is anyway. And the Blink piece, I think you have something to look at that you can draft off of. The things that you like about Blink and why it's successful, I would look to duplicate, and then the things that you need to do to make your product more distinct is where I would make the adjustments in terms of the power sourcing. Here's my big comment, and I don't want to blow a hole in it. I just want you guys to know. As it relates to energy production, and this is the big myth with respect to electric vehicles, and I love I'm a huge fan of Tesla. I love Elon Musk. I think that it is the wave of the future. Every manufacturer, for the most part, has made their commitment and draw a line in the sand in terms of what date they're going to shoot towards to be fully electric. But the pollution that's required as a byproduct to produce the electricity is kind of the dirty little secret nobody talks about. So be careful about talking about this as the most eco-friendly. There are other ways to actually package and brand this in the marketplace, all right? But I think you did a great job. I think it's an awesome idea.
Yeah, a couple of things. Patentability, can you patent it? That'd be great. Also, anything that electric vehicle oriented right now, if you go public, it'd be worth $1 billion, because they're just throwing money.
They're throwing money at it.
Yeah, they're throwing money at electric vehicle, anything related to that. So you're on the right track with that, right there. Yeah, but patentability and cost. What's your cost going to be to make it and to get it to market and to sell it at retail? That's kind of interesting.
And I think your point about money that's available out there for products like this, the more the better.
Yeah.
The more you ask for, the stronger partnership you have. The less you ask for, the bigger the debt you have. Write that down. Yeah. You got a big investment, you got a partner. You got a small investment, you got a debt. And there's a big difference, all right?
Yeah, a very good idea.
Yep, like it.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen.
All right, up next, group number 7. Have a product that way of bringing electric technology to your wallet. And this is Andrew Latif, John Rust, and John Davis. And just a word, there is a 4th member of the group, Nick Caggiano, who unfortunately had a previous commitment, is unable to be here tonight, but I can say that he also put in a lot of time and work on this presentation. Oh, thank you.
How you doing? Okay. Our idea is Tech Wallet. Next slide, please. Have you ever lost your wallet or have had it stolen before? If so, you understand how difficult and crucial it could be. Your wallet contains your license, credit card, cash, things that you take on your daily basis. These things you need to keep safe. And that's why my team and I decided to create our wallet. Next slide. Our wallet can help in many ways. If your wallet is stolen, we offer a magnetic locking system, which keeps outsiders from getting into our wallet. The only way we can get into you would be able to get into the wallet safely is we have a finger scanner on the side of the wallet that you'd be able to press in and get out of. That is connected through our app. Next slide. Oh, we saw the slide before. If you lose your wallet, we have a quick-acting GPS locator connected with a Bluetooth chip that will help direct your exact location to your wallet's destination in our app that will be available to you. Next slide.
So why our solution is better than others? It's because it's the first of its kind. I know that there's on every iPhone there's an iWallet app. Our app would be called Tech Wallet. It is going to be accessible on the iPhone and also on Androids like Samsung's. We can make our electronic wallet link up to our app, and so if you lose your wallet physically, you can still have your phone with your wallet, so you can still use that. Next slide, please. So we would order a base set amount of wallets for like a first round and see how well they sell and how fast they sell. And the typical wallet is between anywhere $30, $40. We would start our wallet, since it's higher tech, would be $79.99, and we would just control of how good it sells, and if it sells well, we can always increase the amount that we make and fluctuate the price. Either if it's doing poorly or doing good, we can always change the price. And once we get bigger and expand into, say, a warehouse and have employees, we always have to think about how we have to pay them well. So we have to just control how much we pay and make sure we always take a profit as well. Next slide, please. So myself and my team, we all interviewed several people and about the possibility of having this product come to life. They all said that themselves or they know someone that has lost their wallet. I know from personal experience that my dad lost his wallet down the shore for 2 days, and thank goodness nothing was stolen, but could have gone downhill pretty fast. They all said they'd be interested in buying a wallet for themselves or giving it as a gift to someone they know. Doing research that a typical person typically buys a gift for about $50 or so. So we know that in this price range that they would probably buy this wallet for themselves or a gift too. So the interviews that we got, pretty positive. Next slide.
All right, so here's the evidence we have on our interviews. We've conducted many interviews to friends and family of all different ages, young, adults, elderly, and men and women. And based on our research, teens love the idea. They love how the technology is evolving and it's time to upgrade from the traditional wallet. Adults thought the idea was amazing, gives similar features and accessibility as Apple Pay does, and it's easier for less tech-savvy people. And their favorite ability was actually that you can locate it. That way, if it's ever lost, you can always find it. The elderly audience thought it was a great idea, but they would use it more as a gifting product because it's more demanding for younger, because they are the ones, because the elderly is the ones that are used to the traditional wallet, and they would most likely rather just stick with that. Next slide, please. So as I said, it's helpful to all ages. There's no specific age group that we target. Based on our interviews, we recommend somewhere between young adult and to adult age range because they're the group that like the product the most. And they were asking the most questions and seemed the most interested in how we can make it produced. Next slide, please. So for our team, we established primary and secondary goals for each member. These goals go beyond business. These are personal goals that we made for each other. We are here to structure and build a team, not just a business. This is companionship of the team so we are effective. We learn to rely on each other and have faith to do the right thing and to complete the task in a timely manner. Our main goal is to create a product to send out to people to help in their everyday life. Next slide, please. And these are our business goals. We want to create a light wallet, not something too bulky and too big. We want to build the most technologically advanced wallet and sell a certain amount of wallets so we are profitable every month. We even have small goals that daily we would like to come up with new ideas on how to develop our wallet, and we were going to write them down in like a doc that we brainstorm ideas every day of like how we can improve our wallet. Next slide, please. We're currently working on developing the advanced app with the Bluetooth and GPS performances. After we finalize the app, we would then produce the wallet with the chip provided by funds by investors. After the app, we're going to publish letters for job hirings so we can find employees to produce wallet along with financial advisors to acknowledge us on our wallet and to cut costs and maximize profits. Next slide, please. So here's an overview of our product. Our product, Tech Wallet, electronic wallet, GPS tracking, allowing you to find your lost wallet and to never lose valuables or sentimentals, not just cash or credit cards. Our wallet, Bluetooth connected, allows you to send signals with a variety of sounds to choose from to the wallet, so it could, if lost, you can find it. If stolen, you go in the app and signal that it is lost, allowing the wallet to latch on to any cards or money, making it impossible for items to be taken. And our wallet, lastly, would have a Touch ID, an optional Touch ID if you would like it, which locks onto your wallet, not allowing anything to be accessed if it's stolen. We know our product will be successful because look at how successful this company named Tile is. I'm not sure if you're too familiar with it, but it can be very costly. It's around $35 per tile. We plan to integrate a similar product in our wallet for a very affordable price included in the price of the wallet. Next slide, please. Thank you for your time.
Good job.
Can I start?
Go ahead.
Sorry.
You go.
A couple of questions. Do we have to charge it?
Yes.
We have to charge it.
We did think about this in the beginning, and our most reasonable idea would be on how some phones today, they have the magnet types charging with it. We would think that we take the similar type of battery. And in the wallet itself, the lining of the wallets, of most wallets are, most of them depending on how bulky you get, but the battery will fit inside of it and it would kind of be as almost a platform, and you just put the wallet on top and it would be charging through there, through contact.
Yeah, wireless charger.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm going to defer to Sandy because what you put on one of your slides is actually very interesting, and he's the king of this. The goals of team building and creating a culture, and that's actually it's a lot more important than what people think. They think, oh, I'm going to have a product and then I'm going to build a team later. No. Building a team and getting people to buy in to the culture is something very important, and not too many people realize that. And I think you highlighting that was very interesting, and I appreciate that's going to make this product a success. Any product you make a success is getting the right people behind you and the culture of the company.
Yeah, we look to please our employees just as much as we please our customers and please ourselves.
Yeah, and then Sandy's actually the guru of that, so he can.
Well, I mean, I don't know about guru, but I will say I totally agree with you, Rob. I think that when investors are looking to put their money somewhere, they're putting it with you as much, if not more so, than your idea or your product or your service.
Yeah.
All right, that's always going to be the first thing that they take a look at. You may have the greatest idea in the world. If they don't see a chemistry and a passion and a real belief and a desire to actually do everything you need to do to make it a reality, they'll withhold investing. You know that from your experience on Shark Tank. I do have some experience with Tile, so I am very familiar with Tile. I was actually in business with a competitor called Tracker about 5 years ago. And I will tell you that the Bluetooth and the satellite technology piece of it is still not perfected. I would encourage you to take a look at the Tile business model and exactly how their Bluetooth technology works in conjunction with satellite technology.
Yeah.
Their battery piece, and it may have changed recently, they had a battery that would wear out over time. So what they had was virtually an evergreen product. If you were happy with the tile product, you had to buy a new tile when that battery wore out over the course of 3, 4, 5 years, depending on how much your tile was pinging off of your cell phone. Our product, the reason I went with the competitor was because they had a replaceable battery. Okay, now that presented its own sets of challenges, right? So they had so much so that they actually would replace the batteries free of charge to their customers. Okay, so they had a mail-in process. I like the fingerprint access piece of it. I like the fact that you researched what the average traditional wallet price would be. I like the fact that you looked at what the average amount spent on a gift was.
Yeah,
I think that's very smart.
Sorry, that actually fluctuates between, we looked at around $50 kids would like to spend on siblings or friends, but as you get older, as adults typically range between $75 to $100 in a gift.
No doubt. I like the way, I like the direction you were going there.
Yeah.
You also address a familiar problem. You know, everybody has lost something that was important to them, and it's the holy crap moment, right? So I like that. And a fear-based approach to like, hey, if this has happened to you, I've got a solution for it. All right, I'd rather have your product and not need it than need it and not have it.
Correct.
Okay. Teens and tech, always a great connection. If you're going to use research to support your case, use hard data points.
Okay.
All right, I think it's important to use hard data points so that people can actually sink their teeth into them. And then I need to know cost on something like this, right? If this is a lesson for everybody in the room is you got to know your cost to produce to get a product that's actually ready to sell or to put into the marketplace. You have to have strong and accurate pricing projections, because what people are looking for are margins and strong ones, right? You're not getting an investment if they feel as though it's going to take forever to get their money back or never get their money back. So you have to have your cost and your projected pricing, and the difference in between the spread is the margin where they're going to look to invest their money.
Okay.
All
yeah.
right?
Can I answer on that point? So
Sure.
So I understand that the cost, we don't have a solid cost right now. We're looking to aim around $79.99. That's based on the average price of the wallet, which is around $50. So we're looking to get the $80 based on how ours has more technologically advanced stuff inside of it. And I also found that companies typically go around for a 20% profit margin, which is also why we plan on hiring financial advisors to help us navigate around how we could cut costs. Maybe we're producing too much in a short amount of time. Maybe a bunch of ideas, ads, or a bunch of ideas to cut costs and be more profitable.
Yeah. Mature companies have 20% profit margins. Smaller companies, you need 50 to 60.
Correct.
Yeah, no, that's what I saw. It's $50 for the average wallet, but I honestly don't think that's how much it costs to make it. Probably less than that. So.
Well, we hope, and that's the point I'm making is I don't have any idea what your product costs to make right now.
Yeah.
And that's
what
key.
we're working on.
That's key, right? Because you're talking about capital investment. You know, we need to know what's the yield going to be in terms of the margin. So if we know how much it's going to be priced at, that's great. I need to know what's going to cost. Otherwise, I have no idea whether we're making money or losing money, right?
Yeah, that's what we're going to set the price when we see how much exactly it's going to cost, and then the price will fluctuate based on how much, on our interviews, see how much people are willing to spend and how much they're willing to pay for it. And if that can meet our prices, then I'm sure we could find it.
It's a good concept.
I like
a
it.
feasibility study, but it's what you
100%.
need. Yeah.
If you look at tile, sale price of about $30 or so, depending on the volume in which you purchase.
35 is what I found.
The cost of sale on those things is in the single-digit dollars. Okay? And so, you know, you have something there. I just think you have to take a look at what is the actual cost going to be when they factor in the wallet materials as well as all the technology.
Yeah, we don't have the exact number, but based on other wallets, I'm sure we'll be profitable.
You're onto something.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. Interesting.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Good job.
All right, during the time that our groups were practicing their pitches and kind of rehearsing in front of the rest of the class, this next group generated a big buzz. And that is Bedros Ascender, Joe Casale, DJ Chatternook, Riley Cahill with Boom Energy Drink.
Purpose to kind of curry favor with the guy to my left? Boom and boost?
Possibly.
All right. You may have an investor here. Make it good, fellas.
I'll go with competitor.
Whether you're getting a filthy pump on the bench press or you're hitting some light cardio on the treadmill, maintaining peak physical and mental health is essential. I'm sure you're tired of the same old energy drinks and supplements filled with sugar, preservatives, and other garbage. Let's face it, you're paying for a big name marketing gimmick that rips off the average athlete. We were disgusted when we learned about how these drinks affected even our own Crusader athletes here at Bergen Catholic. Even at Bergen Catholic. After weeks of sleepless nights of studying market patterns and science, we finally formulated a healthy alternative. Boom.
Next slide, please. Our team has created a drink that is safe, affordable, and beneficial for the average consumer. We are trying to solve the problem that most energy drink companies suffer with. These are problems like loss of sleep, high blood pressure, weight gain, and dehydration. Millions of people suffer with these side effects and are unaware of the root cause. Next slide, please. Boom isn't just for athletes. Whether it's a businessman who needs a good kick to get through a long day at work or a student who has a lot on their plate, our product delivers a healthier and safer alternative than the leading energy drink brands. Next slide, please. Boom is proven to be an eco-friendly drink with all natural ingredients. Fueling your body with these ingredients not only boosts productivity, but also encourages a healthy lifestyle. Next slide, please.
The price of our product is evaluated at 10 to 15% less than Gatorade. Unlike other popular sports drinks, there are no added sugars or preservatives in our drink. You will not get a sugar crash from drinking Boom. Rather, an extra kickstart to get you through the day. Studies have shown higher sugar consumption is directly linked to severe acne. Unlike our product, Gatorade contains 36 grams of sugar. Not only will that give you a severe sugar crash at the end of the day, but more acne on your skin. Next slide, please. We plan to sell our energy drink to produce economic growth for our company. As our company grows, we will use the money from our first energy drink to produce other supplements. These other supplements would include vitamins, protein powders, and foods that are healthier than existing alternatives. Next slide, please.
So is our product Boom on the right track? We firmly believe that our product is on the right track, and that's from the positive feedback from customers as well as Bergen Catholic student athletes. Some of our interviewees even admitted to having a sugar crash from drinks like Bang or drinks like Gatorade, and are very they really want to try. They're very intrigued about our product. Next slide. So have we gained customer problem solution traction? We believe that we have gained that traction, and that we believe that we can create a loyal base that will be very eager to try our product. And some of the people we've also interviewed suffer from lack of energy throughout their day and are also intrigued to try our product, which you see as a positive. Next slide. So what do we currently have in hand? We have a good marketing strategy, which is really pushing this through in gym, going to gym, pushing it there. Also going to social media, as well as the passion to really introduce a new healthy alternative to the general public. Next slide.
Next slide. Not only is Boom good for your body, but it's also good for the environment. With our biodegradable plastic container, you can enjoy a good kick in your day while also saving the environment. We also have a specially formulated green tea extract, which is the bulk of our ingredients in our drink. Our drink also includes natural ingredients, which include antioxidants, which will also give you that extra push to get you through your day. And in our lineup, it's mostly fruit flavors, but we also have a chocolate flavor. And instead of the in-house formulated green tea extract, we're replacing that with carob, which is also high in antioxidants. Next slide, please. Our reason for creating this product. Initially, we created Boom Energy to replace Ritalin, which helps combat the effects of ADD. But we ended up pivoting because we found that our product was more relevant to the market of energy drinks and getting people through their day. And not only does our product motivate you, but it also reduces acne, unlike other popular sports drinks like Gatorade or Bang. Next slide, please. Potential investors, possibly you.
Maybe.
That's it. That's it. We're done.
That's good. All right, thanks. Why don't you go first? I got a lot.
All right, I'm going to make it quick because this is the dude you need to listen to, okay? This is right up his alley.
Yeah.
A couple of quick things that I liked. I like the fact that you're looking to do something better than what's being done already. So you're going to take a product and elevate it off of a huge market right now, as you guys know. You talked about something being 10 to 15% less expensive than Gatorade. Is that on the pricing or cost-based or both?
That's on the price of labor plus the actual cost of the product.
Okay.
Price of labor plus the production costs.
Okay, so you have hard facts, reference hard facts if you're going to do that, right? 15%, let us know what your actual numbers are, because again, I'm going to go back to what we said before. We need to know cost, we need to know sale price, and we can figure out margin and determine level of investment and potential returns. You spoke to athletes here. Use stories, use comments, use quotes from athletes. Research data points. If you've done the research, then don't waste that. Put the data points into your presentation so we can hear them. And you've got a great story to tell. People will do more for a cause than they ever will do for a profit in this world very often. So you have the ADD story, tell it. Don't leave that story hanging out there. Tell the story, let people get emotionally involved in the purpose behind what you're doing. And I think you have a much deeper connection to a potential investor. With that, talk to the man and boost.
All right, so I sell oxygen. I don't sell energy drinks. I have sold energy drinks in the past with my old distributor, so I do know a lot about them. Natural products industry is huge and growing. And one thing I would say, don't be cheap. If you're a natural product, go more expensive. There are a lot of natural product energy drinks out there, a ton of them. What you want to differentiate yourself is size, cost, your ingredients. That carob is interesting. What's your caffeine content on your products?
It's actually in the specially in-house formulated green tea extract.
Right.
So unfortunately, we can't tell you that.
I think you have to, though. You have to tell you, because if you have
gotta
too much
disclose it.
caffeine, you have to
Yeah.
disclose how much caffeine you have in your product.
But there's no caffeine.
Well, green tea has caffeine.
Green tea has caffeine, so
Yeah.
you have a decaffeination process. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, do you have a trademark? Have you researched a trademark? Does someone
not
else?
yet.
Okay, because if someone else has Boom, then you're going to have to relabel everything, and that's a massive nightmare. Are you going to position yourself as a nootropic, as a sort of a memory and focus item, or more of an energy drink, for athletes, or an energy drink for people studying late at night, or going to a party, or mixing with the vodka, as they do with Red Bull? Yeah.
Our product applies to everybody who just wants like a kickstart to get through their day.
Okay.
So whether that's like businessmen or athletes or just the average guy,
Yeah.
if you want a good tasting energy drink that's healthy for you and won't give you acne, this is the product for you.
Okay. You're going to go with shots, like 5 Energy, or a 12 ounce or a 16 ounce?
We're looking at 10 to 12 ounce bottles right
Okay.
now. So
Okay, like a
around
skinny,
that
like a Red Bull,
ballpark.
like a skinny can. Yeah, and then distribution, natural product. There's Expo West I go to every year. Used to, out in Anaheim, and there are hallways full of natural energy drinks. So there's a lot of competition out there. So you're trying to find your place as to where you want to be. But it's a huge market. There are not just Whole Foods, natural grocers. There's a lot of places you can sell it. Sprouts, but then they're inundated with people like you trying to sell products, natural energy drinks as well. So it's a crowded field. You have to distinguish yourself somehow. But again, it's a huge market, and there may be, you have to figure out if you have space to compete.
Yep.
So
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Good job, guys.
All right, thank you, guys. All right, our next team is a two-man team, one of whom was unable to be here tonight. So they taped their presentation earlier today, and we'll watch that. And the member who is here is Jan Gonzalez. His partner is Aiden Cardenas, who's not here. But Jan is here to answer any questions that our judges have for them.
Hi, my name is Aiden Cardenas.
And my name is Jan Gonzalez, and our product is a product for you, the Mix Master. It is a master because it washes faster. Next slide. Have you ever had to go out of your way carrying a huge sack of laundry to your local laundromat in order to wash and dry clothes for you and your family? This problem has not only happened to me, but it's also happened to many families out there. People spend time, so much time in the local laundromat because of how many people are in there. It's always packed, and they have to spend hours just waiting for them to wash and dry their clothes. And not only that, the amount of injuries happening because of the sacks of laundry carried is massive. This problem could be solved, and we have the solution for it. Next slide. No longer will this be a problem. The Mixmaster is the solution to this all. Not only is having a washer and dryer a huge problem in this world, the main problem is monetary. Buying a washer and dryer is hundreds of thousands of dollars you're investing, and there's many repercussions to it. Another concern of buying two machines is space. Many people aren't as fortunate to have as much space in their household, and two machines in their household just doesn't cut it. Our solution to this problem is a machine which saves us space and money in the process, and that is the Mixmaster. Now you're probably wondering, what is the Mixmaster and what is it and how does it work? Well, essentially the Mixmaster is a 3-in-1 combination of a washer, dryer, and hamper all in one. And how it works is a pretty straightforward process. There's a hatch on the side of the machine. It's able to open and close it at your convenience. You put the clothes in, and then you close it. There's a sensor which activates, and it detects exactly how many clothes are in the machine, so it can save water in the process. The machine starts functioning, and starts washing and drying in quick succession. And there are many pros to our product as well. Like I said, one machine that is cost efficient and does all your laundromat needs is what a Mixmaster does. It also has different functions you're able to set up. If you just want to wash or dry, that's totally up to you. You just put in your settings, and you could just wash or dry. Up to you. They don't have to be used at the same time. If you just want to wash any delicate garments, or if you have a baby and you want to wash your baby clothes by hand, you can do it, or vice versa. Also, back to the monetary point. Owning a separate front load and condenser dryer is the equivalent to the purchasing and operating cost of just one machine. So just imagine, the repair cost of just one machine is the price of just one machine also. So that's about $800 repairing one machine, and you have two machines, just imagine that. There was also a timer feature on our product. You could set a time, let's just say you have to go out, you have work, and you can't wash or dry your clothes. You can set a timer on the machine. Let's just say you want to wash it at 4 o'clock. You can leave, and you put the clothes in the hamper, close the hatch, and when it hits 4 o'clock, the machine will start drying and washing, whichever one you want. Next slide. Now you're probably thinking, there's already washer and dryer combinations out there. What makes us different from the competition? I'm glad you asked that. Compared to all the existing alternatives out there, companies release two machines, a washer and dryer, and their 2-in-1 is unreliable, and it also increases their profits when people purchase two machines instead of one. Our built-in hamper feature is also a feature which many other products don't have. This will make things easier and save time just putting clothes in the hatch than having to put them in a separate hamper and having to go all the way to the laundromat or to your washer or dryer across the house. There's also many cons to existing alternatives. Studies reveal that the various washer and dryer variations out there in the open market have the least efficient laundry appliance, and 22% of the few owners who own these appliances have encountered a big problem, which has cost them $100 in repairs. Owners of these types of machines also have significant lower owner satisfaction. And also, existing alternatives out there, just in the drying process, they use about 210 liters of water, which is also equivalent to 55 gallons of water, which is insane. That water bill is going to look nice. Next slide.
So who are the customers and beneficiaries of this product? Syrian concern, it's targeted towards low-income to middle-income families, and this is because low-income to middle-income families don't have the most spacious houses or most spacious laundry areas, and they also won't be able to usually afford 2 laundry machines since that would cost more than $1,500. So this product is both of those in one, and it's geared towards the low income to middle income families. Next slide. So why is this product profitable? This is a profitable product because this it'll help many people, save them time, money, effort doing many loads of laundry. You can do it all in one. It's really reliable. It's a reliable product. We're going to be doing many tests and make sure it lasts long, more than the average one washing machine, one dryer. So we also found something out that according to nationwide survey done by LG, included 1,000 Americans and over the age of 18, and it concluded that 93% of people admit that they mix clothes when doing laundry to avoid doing a second set. So our product will definitely help these people. Next slide.
And the market is on the right track, definitely. In this survey, and this chart done by Statista.com in August of 2020, you can see the market revenue of washer and dryer machines from 2012 to 2025. You can see that it's projected in 2025 to be over $68 billion. That is over about a $13 billion increase from 2012. And recently you can see that in 2021, the market took a little dip, and this is because of the COVID-19 pandemic, and this hurt a lot of families. But you can see that in 2022, it's kicking right where it left off from 2019. And other companies, big companies such as LG, are also starting to consider maneuvering into the washing machine department because of how good the market's looking and for increased profits. Seeing this market grow and how good the market revenue is looking in the next 13 years, it's just showing you how the opportunity in this department is just showing how many people need these appliances. Introducing our product into the rest of the competition can save consumers so much money, and people would adore the idea of a 3-in-1 machine, which can do all their laundry needs just from the comfort of their own homes. Next slide.
So the collective means me and my partner Dan would have to do this fair share in starting this up. That means learning the market and house appliances and all the stuff that goes into that, and the market of that, how that would affect our product and sales, and how well it does, how well it gets to people, and how profitable it is. We'll also learn. We'll have to know the mechanics and how this machine works, so that we're able to build it and we're able to implement the parts that actually make the machine. Next slide. To move this product forward, we would need people to invest in our product so that we're able to start it up. As we're being invested in the product and the company, we're going to have to learn more about the products and the market, and we're going to have to test the products to make sure that they're reliable enough, make sure that it's what people really need and that it saves time and money. Being cost efficient is really important to low income, middle income families, because they're not able to afford it, and they'd have to go out to laundromats, and that just takes a lot of time. And we conducted interviews where 10 out of 9 people said that they're interested in purchasing our product, and it'll just because it'll save money and time, and they think it'll be a very profitable product. So Mixmaster, we believe, is the future of the washer and dryer industry.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank
you. 10 out of 9? What's up? 10 out of 9 people? Nice job. So with all-in-one washers and dryers, have you researched the market at all in the United States?
Yes, I did, and it showed that, like I said in the video, that the two washer and dryer combinations that most homeowners they buy them separately because they're the most, like I said, 22% of families, they've said that there was a problem, and they just strayed away from the combinations, and they've opted to get the separate machines.
Right. I spent a lot of time in the Czech Republic and Europe, and actually I'd say majority of people in the Czech Republic have all-in-one dryers, washers and dryers. And I always thought it was kind of curious how it's not here yet. very few, because it's a space saver. It's for especially for smaller families or just couples.
Definitely.
I don't know why they have 2 machines here, but I got more questions if you want to.
No, go ahead.
Now, and I do know, so like, if you go into Alibaba, you could probably find 10 different companies that will sell you a private label. So you don't have to recreate the wheel here, because there are other manufacturers, even individual manufacturers. What I'm concerned about is barrier to entries. If you go to buy an appliance, you usually buy a General Electric or an LG or Samsung or something.
Big company, yes.
Right, and because it's usually a higher ticket purchase. You're going to spend over $500 for one of these things. So you have a little bit of a barrier to getting distributed, like at a Best Buy or a similar appliance store. So that's something you got to be concerned about. But with the Amazon and the internet now, you can probably sell it direct and get some data. As a private label, being a much cheaper alternative and a space saver. So you would have actually, it'd be very simple to do. You could literally scrape some money together, buy 5 of these things, import them from China, and make a listing on Amazon and see how it sells, and then get some feedback from there. But getting it distributed in stores is going to be very, very difficult, if not impossible, as a private label. So, yeah.
I agree with everything you said. I also take a look at the ability to use social media as your marketing tool, right? So I see more and more of these swipe up ads on Instagram. I love how you're addressing some of the challenges that families are facing right now. So you talk about the space piece of it, and I think people that live in an apartment or a condominium or a townhome can completely identify with the benefit that you're talking about. But very important when you're going to use a benefit like the time element, saving time, right? So now I'm not going to spend time waiting for the washer to get done and then dumping it in the dryer or going to a laundromat. You need to just simply paint a picture for the average person that would purchase your product of the benefit that they're going to enjoy. Wouldn't it be great to spend more time with your family instead of sitting down at the laundromat, right? So you want to draw those 2 different scenarios so that they can see the benefit in a real world situation. I love that. I love what Rob just said in terms of going out and sourcing it, something that's already been made, rebranding it, all right? Because I like the Mix Master. It's got a little bit of ring to it, which is cool. If you're going to have a product name, make sure it's got a little bit of a ring to it or says something in terms of its benefit or purpose. You quoted market data from Statista, which is great. I always like market research to be supported with data points. All right, it helps people make decisions more effectively. The less you make people think when you're doing your presentation in terms of the math involved, the better reception you're going to get. Don't make them think too hard, right? So have that data clearly spelled out for them. You talked about it lasting longer. I need to know why and how. Is it the materials? Is it the way it's been engineered? Is it the way it's been designed? Is it testing that you've done that shows that it's going to last longer than the LG products or the other 800-pound gorillas in the marketplace? But I like it. The only thing I'm going to say about the presentation, you had the little visual piece in there with the cartoon.
Yes.
It's awesome, right? But don't kill that presentation with that going constantly, because I think that distracts from people's attention, right? So I'm constantly watching that thing and I'm going, like this. I want to pay attention to the meat of your presentation. So it's cool to have it in there as like, a little 15-second piece, then get it out of there and get down to business, all right? But I like it. I got to be honest with you. I like it.
Thank you so
Good
much.
job.
Good job.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, we're down to our last team, probably the most confident team. At least they talk tough. And that is Nick Gallucci, Brendan Kelly, Jack Patty, and AJ Condemi.
I like that. Where the hell are the rest of you? You on LinkedIn? Raise your hand if you got a LinkedIn profile. How many of you connected to Rob or me before this?
Rookie numbers. Over here. I see rookie.
Ooh. Good job, fellas.
Right.
Gentlemen, come on.
Rookie numbers.
You snooze, you lose.
All right.
And how about Gallucci?
Right here.
What relation to Billy?
I don't think any.
None? So you gotta fake it. You gotta tell me he's my uncle, and I. All right. Good stuff. Let's hear it, guys.
From the motherland.
Yo, that party last night was wild.
Oh man, I had a blast. I was in so many pictures, but I can't find any of them.
Dude, I wish there was a way we can somehow get them.
Let's turn that wish into a reality with Flick. Next slide, please. So what's the problem?
Over 4 years at Bergen Catholic, us four have become great friends. We love to do different things such as going out to dinner, having a fun night at someone's house, or a road trip into the Jersey Shore. After a year of being quarantined, we realized that no moment should be taken for granted, and it is important to make new friends and meet and create new memories. Photos are a great way to make sure that those moments don't end once the night ends. However, when you're out having fun, you may not know, sharing those photos may become tedious. You may not know where to send the photo or who was in the photo. So, with all that being said, we created Flick, an app that simplifies the sharing of photos and helps in meeting new people. Next slide, please.
Our solution. Our solutions include solving a problem not being able to find pictures by creating the app Flick. Users can join the app by simply creating their account and then joining a Flick file. A Flick file is basically an album that can be created for a wedding, a sporting event, party, or vacation. You can post in the Flick file along with other people, and you can view your posts along with the other people's, and you can tag yourself, share, and download these pictures. Along with this, there could be pro accounts for restaurants, stadiums, resorts, which give big venues an easier way to create Flick files for a much easier way to give out codes and scatter QR codes around. Like at a stadium, instead of having every person type in a code, they can scan their phone. Like at menus now at restaurants with COVID, you can scan the QR code and it'll take you straight to the Flick file. With a Flick file, every time you join a Flick file, you have a new community and network of people. Next slide, please.
What makes Flick different? Flick is different. Flick allows users to share their photos in a simple, fun, and social way. But let's stop. This is the most important part of our presentation. We are not a social media app. Flick is not Instagram, we are not Twitter, and we are not Facebook. When you post on those 3 social media platforms, everyone is outside looking in. You're waiting for validation, you're waiting for likes, comments, retweets. On Flick, when you join a Flick file, you join an instant community. Everyone can see your photos, and it encourages people to make memories that will last forever. Next slide, please.
Our target audience. We are proud to say that this is a one-size-fits-all product. We created a target market and noted their habits, behaviors, likes, and dislikes. We discovered that it appeals to all age groups and lifestyles because it is easy to use and has simple distribution. Next slide, please.
We know the struggles of collecting pictures from events. It could turn into a scramble. When throwing around ideas for the Diamond Challenge, we couldn't settle on an idea. Once this idea arose, we knew it was perfect. It's what we need, and we know it's what you need. And speaking to others about Flick, all we received was enthusiastic and uplifting responses. The main response was, when and where can we get Flick? Everyone wants Flick. Flick caught on fire in the hallways of school. All week it's been chat. Everyone wants Flick. We had staff like Mr. Mascaro come up to us and give us advice on how to get Flick off the ground and running.
Next slide, please.
Oh, yeah. We're passionate about Flick and truly believe it could be the next big thing. And we want to step out of COVID with a new outlet to create and cherish memories for a lifetime. Yeah.
Next slide, please. So let's talk about the economics of Flick. We have identified an obvious demand for Flick. Based on our customer interviews and advertising of the idea, the demand is growing. With any product, we realize that there are barriers to entry in a competitive market. Our product, however, has few barriers to entry aside from cost in creating the app, obtaining various legal documentation, and pushing the app to its fullest potential. As of right now, we are proud to say that we believe our total attainable market, which is anyone with a smartphone, is equal to our serviceable obtainable market because this app is useful in so many different ways, does not lean towards any particular age group, and has no geographical barriers. Next slide, please.
Revenue streams. Flick will utilize large venue events to make most of its money. When I go to Giants Stadium, when I go to watch the Giants play at MetLife Stadium, I'm going to scan into the QR code at MetLife Stadium. When I'm walking up to my nosebleed seats, I'm going to take pictures of myself, my friends, my family, the field, and the players. And when I go home and show mom and dad Jack Patty's front row seats pictures, they'll never know the difference. And that's the beauty of Flick. Flick is great because it makes the customers work for the venue. The venue has access to all the photos uploaded to their Flick file. This gives them a whole other world of content that is relatable to the people that want to come to their football games. Lastly, let's not forget the power of ads. People that connect to their Flick file also connect their emails to their accounts. With this information, we could push memorabilia ads to their phone because we know they like to go to football games, they like to go to tailgates, and depending if they liked it or not, because we have their pictures. With the content that we have created in our Flick files, this could create a great world for our owners of stadiums. Next slide, please.
You know, this is what our app would look like. This app is going to be the center of your home screen. I guarantee you'll be clicking this more than you check your email. We have a simple design that you probably teach your grandma to use in seconds. With the search bar up top, you'll be able to search through events by dates or names of the events, and you find them. On the top left, you see we have a little active folder. You know, that's the folder that you're currently, the event that you're at, so you'll be able to upload and see pictures people post there. And on the bottom, we have a plus sign. That's all you need to click to join a new Flick folder. Yeah, next.
We got this. We know this market. We are 4 young men eager to get into the business world. But we need your help. After COVID, we realized the need for our app, and there's nothing more that we want than to produce this app worldwide. Next slide, please.
The next step. To move forward, we need guidance. We need someone with the right connections to the right market to invest in us and our product, and that will help us get our app off the ground. In the future, financing will be of use to send our product to its fullest potential. So, will you help us flick forward into an era of truly living in the moment and sharing moments that we want to last forever?
Thank you.
Go ahead. You kick off.
So I gotta say, your presentation, energy, confidence, off the charts.
2 thumbs up.
Yeah, great. I mean, very organized, really catchy colors, great presentation skills. You guys really nailed it.
Yep.
I don't know much about the app world or like the Instagrams or where your competition is. Is there competition for something like Flick?
The only competition we can think of right now is Dropbox, but as we mentioned before, our app is going to be a more social way to share it. You're going to be able to meet new people through it.
Yeah.
Dropbox at the moment is kind of outdated,
Yeah.
and you could really just upload files and photos to it, and it's not as easy to share with friends and family.
Right. The monetization of this is your data acquisition. You know, people will pay. There you go. Sorry. If you were able to profile people and gain a database of those people and be able to sell it to other corporations, that's what a lot of people are doing, I think, with these in the app world right now. So you've got something there in terms of how to monetize this. But I don't know the economics of how apps work, and I know people who do, but it's interesting. It's a very interesting concept.
I agree. I like it. A couple of things that I made a note of. I like the clean design. It should be easy to use and intuitive, right? So the big plus sign is great for the old folks, because we just have to go hit the plus sign and we can go from there. I like the fact that you're creating a community for sure, but you're saying it's not a social media app. And to Rob's point, the profiling piece and the ability to share user data is where these folks are monetizing. By the way, if it's free, you guys understand you're the product, right? You got that? So if it's free, you're being sold on a minute-by-minute basis by Google, Google, Facebook, Instagram, Clubhouse. By the way, quick show of hands, who's on Clubhouse? You guys don't even know what that is yet. Do your research. That's red hot right now. I love the QR code utilization right now. The QR codes were like dead and buried, and COVID brought them back to life. We're using them throughout businesses all over the place to facilitate information, to get registration information. There's so many different ways we can use QR codes right now, and that's going to be for the foreseeable from my perspective. You agree?
And even for the long-term future, I think.
100%. Yeah.
It's so much easier just to scan something and you're off and running.
Yeah, and you can make them in a second on the internet.
Yep.
You were really adamant about what you aren't, and I like the fact that you pulled it right back and said, but this is what we are. I think you need to be more clearly defining in terms of what the community actually means. I know it's a place to gather photos and share them, et cetera. How about security? How about photos that maybe people don't want to share that get uploaded? Like, you got to think about the privacy and the access and the release that somebody's going to have to actually acknowledge to get rid of the liability there. The monetization model, I go back to the venues. Is there a way to monetize the venues if they're going to be utilizing it? There's data that they could be looking at as well. But I like it. I think it's pretty cool. The cost is not just in creating the app. The cost is also in terms of maintaining it as well.
Marketing it.
We found out that to It'll cost about $7,000 to $8,000 a month with taxes to get a 1 terabyte server to store those photos with 100 megabytes of bandwidth. Another cost will be trademark attorneys. That'll be about $350 an hour. And just another app that's, is somewhere similar to us, but it's more social, is Instagram. We found that it costs about $50,000 to $70,000 to start that. So something that houses that many photos in a social aspect is something that we should be looking around. But
And also something that wasn't mentioned, when we're working a big venue like a concert or a business convention or a sporting event, there will be deals with like the stadium owners. Like something that's really cool about a Flick file is that it's very flexible. If MetLife Stadium wants one big file for their whole entire stadium that says has enough space to hold X amount of photos, we could do that. If they want a Flick file for every section in the stadium, we can do that. It makes selling our app very flexible and very easy and obtainable for everybody.
Yeah. You guys know the metrics and the money around apps like Instagram and WhatsApp in terms of, what the real market is for those?
Well, we need server space. We know we'd have to pay for server space.
No, I'm talking about what they were sold for or acquired for, price-wise.
A lot of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Billion.
A little bit.
Tens of billions.
WhatsApp, and to Rob's point, WhatsApp went for, I believe, $26 billion Facebook purchased WhatsApp for. Instagram, unfortunately for those guys, and by the way, we're not passing the hat for the Instagram founders, but was significantly less. WhatsApp was acquired because of the number of users.
Right.
Okay, it was, a global app, and so they're leveraging the user totals, so.
Yeah.
I like where you're going with it.
Also with our app, we think we're going to have a ton of users because anyone could really use it. And for small events too, like weddings, just gatherings with your friends, this would be a great app just to get involved.
Right. Make that easy.
Yeah.
Like it.
Interesting, yeah.
Good stuff.
Great proposition, thanks.
Thank you, guys.
All right, so we'll give the judges a few minutes to review their notes and put together our top three. And while they're doing that, I think it's clear all the hard work and the enthusiasm that these guys put into putting these presentations together. And so give yourselves a round of applause for doing that. Last year's group, and I think Sandy and Rob will agree, were pretty darn good. I think you guys topped them. I think you guys were really good. You guys made me look really, really good. I like that. What's that? Yes, it is. I do know how to delegate. And again, I'd like to thank our judges for their comments and their questions. You could see how much time they put in to their own businesses, and just by the depth of their questions and their comments, they're all incredibly helpful to get you guys started on the road to success. So thank you, Rob and Sandy. And again, while we're waiting for them, I just want to thank again Mr. Spiegel and his crew here doing all the technical work. And everybody at home, the parents, the alumni who are watching, staff who are watching, faculty, thank you for taking the time out of your evenings to do that. Thank you, Marge, for helping put this together and getting our alumni involved. This is just, as the second year of this program, I think it's been a complete success. And I look forward to it continuing to grow, and this night on an annual basis continuing to grow bigger and better and get bigger and better ideas. I think whoever the winner is, when we get to sending them to Delaware and sending their presentation to Delaware, we can be very proud of whatever the team is, because you guys were all amazing. All right, gentlemen. I have the results from our judges. And while I know it was a very hard decision for them, first of all, I would like to announce in third place, the portable electric car charger, Joe Garcia, Paul Consamanis, Randy Hernandez, Will Walsh. All right, so yeah, the $250 to you guys. All right, our second place team getting an award of $500. Flick, Nick Galucci, Brendan Kelly, Jack Patty, and AJ Condemi. All right, and our first place team, they'll be making the presentation in the Diamond Challenge down in Delaware, and winners of a $1,000 award. The Smart Case, Aiden Johnston, James Batafarano, Shay Conlon, Max Baldemir.
The spread, minimal. All
Yeah.
three great ideas, and all of the ideas. I love the input, the time that you put in there, and listen, fellas, nobody's a loser in this room tonight. That's a fact.
Yeah, the
Everybody,
presentations
everybody's
were
a winner.
fantastic,
Yep.
all of them. We were just looking for viability, I think, at the very end. Like, what's the most viable long-term project? And I mean, very, very, very close to the top three.
Yes.
But in terms of the eco concept, I think you guys are really onto something. So, yeah.
Like, for real.
Yeah.
For real. We just had a conversation, you know, kind of between the two of us. There are products out in the marketplace right now that you guys need to do your research on. All right? So if you're going to go down there and compete for the big enchilada, as they say, go down there to win it.
Yeah.
All right? So whatever time you put into this over here, if you want to win the big one, you're going to have to do like 100x in terms of your time invested and the energy and the detail that you're going to have to deliver. And I don't want to speak for Rob, but I think he feels the same way. If you have questions in terms of how you're going to present, we're a phone call, text, email, LinkedIn message, whatever happens to be away.
Yeah. And I've seen actually any of the concepts out there. I mean,
Anybody,
if you guys are real about getting started with what your ideas, just give us a call or
100%.
send us an email, and we'll definitely get back to you.
Yep. Yeah. First step, by the way, is connecting to us across the board on social media platforms. All right? So, great job.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, nice job, man. That was good.
Okay, Sandy and Rob, can I just invite you up here to conclude the evening? Whatever your preference is. We have masks for you. So just a little gift to thank you again for participating and helping us out. You guys are always welcome. Thank you, Sandy. It's good to see you guys. Thank you again. I know these guys really take to heart the comments that you made. All right, so just to wrap things up, that's our second annual Bergen Catholic pitch competition for our entrepreneurship. Thanks everybody for all their hard work. Thank you everybody at home for taking the time to watch the seniors go through the motions here and put together some really, really good ideas. And have a good night.